feel like we need a disclaimer at the start of this podcast that just says, like, you know, like, warning, we're gonna be sad the whole time. We're just venting.
Bring your tissues.
Yeah.
Roses are red, violets are blue. The talking tulips wanna talk to you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our second Tulip podcast. I'm Kaya, and today I'm with Maya, Kim, and Karina, and we'll be talking about places around Albany that we love, you know, in the capital region. It doesn't have to be limited to the city, and what we're looking forward to doing after COVID's over. So to start us off, would anyone like to go first?
I feel like I was thinking about it and I got very sad, just like our first podcast when we were talking about the books, because I was like, wow, like I didn't live a sheltered life, but like I don't adventure around. Like I don't go out. Like I'm aware of Thatcher, but like everybody knows Thatcher. That's just a given. I know there's a lot of like trails and cool waterfalls around here, but I personally never went. And now I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, wow, so like what other places are there in Albany that I could adventure to after COVID, or even now that's safe during COVID? Because I'm like, I don't want to leave my house, but I can't stay in my house forever. So I'm hoping this podcast will bring me some ideas and other people will comment, and maybe I can figure out if I'm living a sheltered life or is it just me? So I don't know.
If it makes you feel any better, I'm like a total homebody, and one of my favorite places around Albany is my very own bed. So
Honestly, I was like, wow, I feel like the first podcast all over again, talking about the books. I had like no books, but like I remember having them, but obviously nobody ever kept them. And then places around Albany, I know I've been places, I know I've been, you know, out and about, but like I just can't think of anything, and you know, it really gets me.
That's all right.
I think we should all talk about, did you guys all grow up in the Albany area? Like, are you all very familiar with the area?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, because I'm not from the area. I'm from New Jersey. And I think, Maya, that's why I've like been a few places, you know, because I'm like not from here, and now I've been living here for the past few years, so I kind of like, you know, I'm like, why am I living here? You know, like what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, what's the tell? What's the pull? So one of my favorite places, since I realized of it, since it's been brought to my attention, has been the rail trail, which they recently expanded actually. And it's a paved bike path, walking path, running path. I like to rollerblade, so I have very limited spots to rollerblade, and that's a really great one. And it's, I'm assuming based on the name, it used to be a railroad that they've converted. And it's absolutely gorgeous. There are bridges, and it runs all the way through Voorheesville. It starts in Voorheesville and goes all the way through to downtown Albany, like through woods, and behind different businesses.
Before.
Yeah, through Delmar,
I did it a few
Slingerlands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good one.
This past year, actually, they connected the rail trail. The city connected the rail trail to the Mohawk Hudson bike trail, the really long one that runs along the Hudson River. So now it's just one ginormous path. So I know for me personally, my COVID safe space, but I also, before all this happened, it would be like the place I go when I'm feeling really restless or I don't know what to do. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna walk a few miles in one direction and turn around and walk back the other. And I've never been disappointed. It's always really gorgeous.
I love that. I'll have to try it out, because during quarantine, I decided to buy a bike. So now I have a bike, and I've only been to a few trails. And now this gives me an excuse to A, ride my bike, and B, find out a new place around Albany.
Yes, it's great for that. I also love the crossings park.
Yes.
That's
Can't forget about that.
Well, You're taking all mine, Karina.
Go for it.
No, that was actually my top two, the crossing and the trail that you was talking about that they just built near the railroad station. And I used to do a lot of the walkings in the one that's near the railroad. I used to do like a good 10 miles easily, and then like walk back, just because I love the view of like the woods and the birds. Like I'm into nature, so I really love that environment around me. And another thing too, I actually like hiking, so I was gonna say what was it? There was one hike that I've done that was so challenging, and oh my god. But I want to go back, just because it was a challenge. I'm always up for a challenge. It's called Buck Mountain. It's not in Albany, but it's in Lake George, and it's close to it, kind of, in a way. But let me tell you, it was, even though it was challenging, the view was worth it, and it was breathtaking. I will go back, but when I'm more fit, right? Right now, going back at this condition, I wouldn't. But yeah, the view is so worth it. I recommend each and every one of you try it one day, or on your bucket list or something. So yeah.
I can't say I ever went on an intense hike. Like, I went walking in the woods. I don't know if I can consider that as a hike, but like I've never been hiking, and I feel like I have to do that.
I wasn't expecting it. I think it was just like the incline was ridiculous. Like literally, it was like going up and down. Like it was pretty steep, and it's very, very rocky. So I wasn't prepared, but I pushed through it. It was I think it took me 3 hours to go up the mountain, and then 3 hours to come down. But that's like in between like the breaks, and then like she's like, no.
That's like way too much for me. Like I know people who wake up at like 5:30 just to get to like the place to go hiking, because so many people go early, and it takes hours to do. Like I need to start like basic, beginner, and then like work my way up to intermediate.
No, that was a lot.
Mm-hmm. There are a lot of really more short and I would say less intense hikes over in Thatcher. And I know Sam, our other member of the Tulip Court, who can join us today, she asked us to mention Thatcher Park on her behalf because that's her favorite place to go see the sunset, or to go on some nice nature walks. And there are a significant amount of trails. Like you can spend a few hours just getting lost in the woods over there. So that might be a good starting point for you, Maya, if you want to get into hiking.
No, I would like to try it. I really would. I mean, like I said, I feel like I'm living under a rock over here. I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, the crossings is great too. I mean, I know a lot of us mentioned that actually, but I worked right near there back before this all started. So it was really easy for me to just go take a quick walk and then go to work, which was really nice. And there are lots of little trails too. Like there's a Pine Bush, there's 6 Mile Island. We have a bunch of random places just all around here, which is really nice. And Washington Park. Like we can't forget Washington Park, where our tulips are. And lights in the park. That's something we can all do right now.
Yeah. I got something. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call you off, Kaya. Okay. Sorry. But I was gonna say Coney Island is actually another good small. It's like a trail. It's not a hike. It's like more of a trail. So I think that's like a good one. It's up by. It's like going up to Troy. I don't know exactly where it is, but I just know it's like going towards that direction. So I think that's a good place to try it out too.
I've been getting a lot of library books out. They do a delivery where you order them online with the Upper Hudson Library System, and then you can just pick them up at the library. So I go to the William K., which is the closest one to my house, and I just order a bunch of books and take them back home. I don't even have to set foot really inside except to pick up the books. And that's something anyone can do right now. And there are lots of cool libraries around the area too that I really want to check out after COVID's over, because the Troy Library, I don't know if you guys have been there, but that one's gorgeous. and I'd really like to be able to see more libraries. That's such a dorky thing to say, but like there are so many cool ones.
Yeah, I think doing whatever we can in terms of supporting our local businesses and restaurants. Obviously it's hard, especially if anyone's out of work right now. We don't exactly have, like extra funds floating around, but it's important to try to keep our small businesses alive during this time so that when all this is over, they're still there. And we don't take them for granted,
Yeah, I agree with that. It was so weird. I was on Facebook scrolling through, and there was some little restaurants down on like South Pearl Street and like State Street that were shutting down. It was a Mexican restaurant with like authentic like street food and such. I've never been there, but they were closing, and I like felt like a soft spot in my heart, because I was like, wow, like I'm really living through a time right now where restaurants and businesses have to close, and they have no idea when they're going to open, what's going to happen. And even us as a community, we have no idea what's going to happen in our everyday lives. And it's very scary, especially like at a young age, and even older people. I was like, wow.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
It is.
But we'll get through it. New York's strong.
Yeah. Another activity we can do if they are open is go to your local art gallery or museum. I guess that's a little plug for me because I work at Albany Center Gallery. But I know that we're doing everything we can to stay open, with air purifiers, limited number of people inside, masks required. And although we're like free and open to the public, it's still, we know how important it is for people to have access to art, especially in trying times. Seeing some artwork on the walls can really, bring some much needed joy. And I know there's the New York State Museum and the Albany Institute of History and Art and the Alpaca Gallery. Like there are a lot in our area, and I believe all of them at this moment are still open. And if not, we should figure out other ways to support other local arts institutions, I think.
Yeah. Well, after COVID, knock on wood, I have wood here, after it's hopefully over, my number one thing that I'm looking forward to is definitely going to laser tag, because I was supposed to do that last year and it was closed on the day I was supposed to go. And so now it's been like 2 years since I've been able to go laser tag. And it's like such a small thing, but I really want to go so badly.
Pew, pew, pew!
I will actually be down for paintball fight, like the paintball.
See, I've never done that.
I don't know why. It's just that would be cool. Just because I feel like it'll be. I feel like it'll be more fun. I don't know, than laser tag, but I think they're like kind of like around the same thing. It's just laser tag is.
I heard paintball's painful though.
I know. That's why I'm like, I'm a little.
That's
rough,
why
I
it would be
think
more fun.
No, it's just, I don't know. It's just like that. Well, I used to like play a lot of video games and stuff when I was younger. I used to be into that also. I remember I used to play my cousin's PlayStation at Call of Duty. So it's like just the adrenaline and like you trying to get like your, the bad guys. So it's like, that's like my little fantasy. So that's why I was like,
No, I totally get
it. That would be awesome. But that's just me though. But well, one thing I would love to do, I mean, who wouldn't go on vacation?
Oh God.
That was what I was gonna say. I'm so mad I didn't get to travel. Like, I wish I was sitting on the beach. I wish I was in the sun. Like, I cannot stress it enough.
Yeah, I want to go back to my hometown just for, a few weeks. That'll be awesome. And just enjoy the weather, enjoy the food, the music. It's been a while. And one thing I really want to go down there for is like Fort Wheeling. That would be really cool. So that's one thing that I really want to do when all of this pandemic is over. So knock on wood. It's very soon.
In the summer, they had like campsites and stuff still open. I don't know if you guys are into that, but that's like at Thompson's Lake, that's near Thatcher Park, and I'm sure more places too, but they had like social distance campsites and stuff. And they were supposedly, I didn't go, but my brother went because he loves to camp, and like he said the bathrooms were really well cleaned and stuff. So, I mean, who knows what's going to happen this summer, but hopefully at least those will be able to, we can get away, at least go to a lake or something, some kind of beach.
Yeah, I would love to have a large social gathering. And by large, I mean more than like me and my roommate. Like,
Wait, what do they say? 3's a party, 4's a crowd?
Yeah, more than like, 4 people. I would like to, like I before all this, I would go to my friend's house for dinner every week. Like I would like to have fun social plans in my calendar every week that don't, that I have, scheduled Zooms and stuff, but it's as an extrovert and an empath, like I get my energy from being around other people. It's not the same virtually. People's auras are blocked by the screen, I think. It's just not the same. So I'm looking forward to like that, and just like, being able to visit my parents whenever I want without having to have a negative test for stuff like that. I'm really looking forward to.
Like a family reunion, friends reunion. I think that would be a good one too.
Yeah. I would like to hang out with all of you guys. We haven't really hung out in person.
Tell me about it. It's been a while. I feel like every time like I see you guys in person, it's like I'm getting to know you guys again. Like, I'm sorry, it's just because like such like on how like, like how long it's been for us not to be in person. Like obviously we're talking right now, but it's just the energy is always different in person. Always.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's hard to meet people virtually.
Mm-hmm.
Like we had brief interactions in person, like for our beading ceremonies, and once in a while, like there'll be 2 or 3 of us at events or whatever. But it's so different. Like we don't know each other outside of this pandemic, which on one hand, like really cool, right, and special, but on the other hand is like, what?
Yeah.
It's like surprising because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like we've known each other longer than we have, even though we don't actually know each other. Does that make sense?
Right. I feel
Yeah.
Well, just like you said, like I agree. Like I feel like it's blocked between the screen. Like you don't understand their personality, or you don't know them. You can't get to know somebody through. Like I think we're doing a good job. I think we learn something new about each other every time we talk, but there is that lack of like personal connection, but that you only get in person. I will say that.
Yeah, so, and every time we see each other, we're like working, like we're like doing an activity or something forward. Like we haven't gotten to know each other on a personal level, but that's cute regardless.
We'll stay friends. Don't worry. We'll hang out for sure. We have to. We can't spend this whole year together. We're friends.
Sorry, I didn't mean to get sappy.
It's okay.
Oh.
It's okay.
I kind of briefly said what I would do, but I guess I'll elaborate a little bit more. When things become normal again, or if we ever go back to normal or our new normal, I can't wait to not have to, wear a mask everywhere and like just die of choking. And I can't wait to be around other people without people being so skeptical. Like I was at work the other day, and one of my coworkers, Bob, he was helping me out with something, and he like didn't want to come next to my desk, which is totally understandable. And he's like, well, you never know who's going to come in and what they're going to think. So like, I feel like every day I'm like walking on eggshells, like especially in the office. And I always have to make sure I'm wiping everything down, and it's just too much to remember, like when you're trying to do your everyday life. I want to be able to go out to a restaurant past 10 o'clock. Like, I just want to be able to do everything that I was doing in February. Like, in January of last year, I was at a basketball game in, like, Madison Square Garden. I was having a blast, and, like, here I am now. And it's like, okay, I'm going to spend New Year's in my house, and, you know, I can't go out to dinner for Christmas. And, you know, I just want to be able to do things. I want to plan a trip, get on the plane, and go. I don't want to get a COVID test, just like Karina said. Like, I don't need a negative COVID test before I go see anybody. I'm done with the rules, but I don't think it's going to happen. But I'll dream about it.
It's the fatigue. I really want to go to the Egg again, like any kind of show. I love the Egg because it's just so funny looking. I just love to, like, last year, the last performance I saw was Trixie Mattel at the Egg, and it was awesome. And I would like to have shows again to get to go to, and live events. Yeah. I was supposed to see Hall & Oates this summer, and I wasn't able to at SPAC, and I was so sad because they're one of my favorites. But, you know, hopefully things will start to get better. You know, if we have people wearing masks and stuff, people are socially distancing. It's really bad right now, and that's like the scary thing too. And like, I understand, like, people are getting fatigued, but also because people are getting fatigued, they're not doing as much as they should, and then it gets worse, and then we have to, like, start all over again almost, and it's just a pain. So hopefully after the vaccine comes out, that'll lead to some traction. That's, you know, I don't want to bank on that, but unfortunately it looks like that's what we're going to have to do for now, is just stay inside as much as possible, keep going on with our Zoom events, you know, keep doing virtual things, go outside for work and stuff, and hopefully things will be able to open soon.
Yeah. Gotta wear our masks for as long as it takes for us all to be safe.
Right.
We just gotta follow the rules and just hang in there. That's pretty much it.
I just want to add, since you were talking about the Egg, where I work at the Capitol, every year they have a ghost tour because there's supposed to be ghosts hanging around in the building from when there was the fire years ago. And I didn't get to make it last year to the tour because they did it during the night and I had school. So this year was going to be the year that I was going to do it, and the Capitol's still closed with no visitors. And I'm like, great, I had something planned. I couldn't even do that. And now I have to work in the building with all the ghosts and have no idea about, you know, who they are or if they're nice or if they're mean. So now I have to wait till next year, and hopefully I'll go on my ghost tour of the Capitol.
Oh my God, I love that. I didn't know about that.
Yes, it's so cool.
It's like an episode of Supernatural. I don't know if you guys have, like, watched, like, I feel like every science fiction TV show, because I've been, like, going through all the TV shows this year again, there's always a plague episode. And it's always surreal until this year. You know, like Heroes, I watched another one recently. I think, like, Psych, you know, like, every just random TV show. Bones, you know, like, every kind of, like, show like that has had a plague episode. And it's always, like, you know, never gonna happen. And then you're like, wait, no, yep, this is, like, a thing. You know, like, I was thinking about, I'm not in school anymore, but I know a couple of you guys are. Every syllabus has, like, a pandemic clause. You know, like, in case the school has to close down, like, this is the policy. I've never thought 2 seconds about it before. Yeah. You know, and this year they were like, wait a second. Wait a second. But anyway, I digress.
I feel like we were a bunch of Debbie Downers, like, more than I expected.
Yeah, we're Debbie Downers with a positive, like, upbeat attitude. What we say is sad.
Laughing and crying at the same time.
I'm happy. School is out. I can just stay in my bed all day. I do my little home exercise. I play my instrument, you know, and hang out with I'm lucky that I have my family here. That's another thing, is, like, I get to spend time with my parents and my little brothers and their, distraction from boredom, I guess. And yeah, that's really lucky for me. Thank you for listening to the Talking Tulips. Have a great week, and tulips out.
Did you say an alpaca gallery?
Oh, Opalka
Oh, okay.
is the name of it.
I was like, we have an alpaca gallery?
Well, yeah, Maya, I thought you didn't like horror movies and stuff.
No, I do.
You do? Okay.
Oh, that was me.
Yeah, you
That
do?
was me.
Oh, okay. I knew
Oh.
Did I say that?
Wait, sorry.
Hold on. So am I going like this?
Yeah,
Or like
off
this?
the screen.
Like, what am I
Either
doing?
way, off the screen.
No, have a good week or month. I'm so sorry. This is terrible. Let me try it again.
Roses are red, violets are blue. The talking tulips wanna talk to you.